Yeah, thank you so much. I will share my screen. Hello, everyone. And let's see. All right, I'll do this and start from the beginning. All right, and so it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to talk about MBTI and the interests that Gen Z and Millennials have in this and where it's coming from. As I was introduced, I have a YouTube channel. I've done 2,000 plus hours of coaching in Jungian typology. I have over 5 million views on my channel, as mentioned, and I have a coaching practice. And so to get started with tonight, I'm wondering what sparked your interest in MBTI? And I'll have the poll flash up.
Do you want me to launch it or
Yeah,
do you have access?
yeah. Can you
Yeah,
launch it for me, please?
sure. Lancer. Here we go. Joyce, do you see the results or
Yeah,
yeah, you have access. Okay, great.
it's pretty interesting because it's different than how millennials might answer. So a millennial might write online questionnaire more because of all of the free questionnaires online. And I wonder how much they go to coaches and practitioners. So the friend and the partner option would probably be higher for my generation too. All right. So it seems like a majority of everyone
Mhm.
has gotten interested in this theory because of a coach or a practitioner. How interesting. So I will just end the poll. Thank you. Fascinating. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing and then go to the next one. And so, global popularity of MBTI. There's a rising interest in Asia, especially South Korea and China, in Jungian typology. And so, well, albeit more on the 16 personalities level rather than depth psychology, but China has a lot of Jungian practitioners actually, so they've went a little deeper into that. In fact, I've had some clients contact me that only speak Chinese, and I don't really actually speak Cantonese or Mandarin that well. And so it's kind of funny, like how popular it is in China that I have people reaching out to me that don't speak English, that just speak Chinese. And that's how popular this is. And it's becoming a pop culture phenomenon, especially in Korea. So this all started through K-pop stars sharing their MBTI types, and then all of the fans going crazy about it. They're like, that's so cool. And so now all the K-pop stars know their MBTI types. There's so much media being created. There's also academic journals being created in mostly Korea about MBTI now. So, like, it's translating to academia. Published scientific studies are more in that area now, too. And it's all because of these celebrities and how they're making it cool. And so, I want to give you guys some examples of these videos. I'm gonna translate this into French. I see if I can do that. Or closed caption? Oh no, it's English subtitles.
You have to yeah, click on the gear and select French. Oh, there is only English and Korean. Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh no, there's only English and Korean. Maybe the translators will translate this. So let me just show you a bit of it here. Like, so what this is that they have one of each of the MBTI types living in a house together, and then it's a reality TV show to see how they'll get along. So I believe they made everyone take the official Myers-Briggs, and then they're seeing the type interactions here. And so it's actually a really well done show in Korean, and I'm pretty sure that they have French subtitles because the last time I checked, it actually did have French. So if you get the slides afterwards, you can actually watch this in French using the playlist. They have it all for free online, I think, all 11 episodes. So it's really, if you have a free Friday night, this is an okay watch. It's actually rated pretty highly, so in Korea. So this is one of the ways that type is showing up in pop culture. Let me go to the next. Trying to go to the next slide. All right. Yeah. And so a question for everyone is what were your thoughts after seeing that clip? Maybe you guys can answer in the chat, or maybe I'll have an interpreter interpret the answers. Helps to create relationships. Yeah. And it helps to create a lot of fun. Yeah. Do participants know each other before these sessions? I actually think they don't know each other, so that's the part of the fun. Get strangers of different jungienne types together and see how they react. This would be a great experiment for these association of psychological type different organizations to do. So let me just go to the next slide. There's also musical videos being made on the MBTI types. In, let's say, Korean, there's an ISTJ song. So I'll play a little bit of that to show you guys.
Maybe make sure you share your audio because we don't have audio. I don't think
Oh, so you guys didn't hear the last video at all?
we did.
Give me one moment. Let me stop share. That's good for me to know. Share screen, share sound, and then share. Okay. This should be okay. Do you hear it? Okay.
Introvert, 감각적, 사고적, 판단적 널 해서 16 words 필요 없어 그 단어성
에코베이지 얼런지 틀림없는 원칙 실수하면 안돼 완벽해 보이는 너도 고장나고 나는 function 저곡히 쌓인 너의 감정 속에 들어갈래 어지럽히고 싶어
Let's get it done.
Yeah, so that's available online if you're curious. So it's kind of funny, like us MBTI YouTubers, when people search up ISTJ, now this song comes up with our videos. So Yeah, it's a thing. Let me go on to the next slide. All right. Yeah, and there are even albums based on Carl Jung. So this one is just based on his concepts by BTS. So the album Map of the Soul is something you guys can check out. I'll just play a little bit of it.
You'll hear some words.
We are now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
So, yeah, there's so much of millennials and Gen Z appreciating Carl Jung and all of these types now, as you can see. It's really popular, and I'm going to go to the next slide. So, to be a part of millennial pop culture, I'm going to have everyone drop a GIF or emoji in the chat to represent how you feel today or how you feel about Myers-Briggs today. And if the Myers-Briggs had a theme song for the next generation, what would it be? These are just things to get you into the millennial mind space of fun things that they think about or do. So, yay. Oh, I love the faces. The party hat, the love eyes, the smiles. Oh. Yeah, so you're experiencing a little bit of millennialness. This self-expression is very millennial because they like to be themselves. Kind of like an introverted feeling or extroverted feeling, expressing the feelings. Oh, I love the cat. See, look, you're already in the millennial spirit right now. So, I'm gonna go to the next slide. For some reason, my toggling is a little bit tougher. So, why is the Myers-Briggs popular with younger people? It's because identity exploration is in, and so this is a core value for many of them. And you'll see the rise of micro labels like demisexual, aromantic, and Myers-Briggs is seen as a form of self-discovery. And so, why is identity popular right now? And so there's a cultural shift towards self-awareness. There's an increased need for social freedom and expression. And the internet amplifies self-reflection because you have so many things you can read online and so many things you can learn about yourself. And it's a response to instability. So there's so much uncertainty in the world economically, the climate change, and the politics. And so the one thing that younger people feel like they can control is their own self-knowledge. And so they're like, if I learn more about myself, then I'll feel like there's something within my control, or this is the part that I can invest the most into. So here are some examples of identity exploration outside of type. So these are some terms that are very popularly used among the younger generation. Demisexual. So it means being attracted to someone only after emotional connection and being their friend. non-binary identity outside of male, female, aromantic, experiencing no romantic attraction, neurodivergent, you have a brain that's different than the typical one you see out there. So let's say autism or ADHD or anything that makes you different than someone else, or multi-potentialite or polymath, a person with many creative passions or career interests. So these are just a few of the thousands of ways millennials learn about themselves. I have a fingerprint on the slide because it's the millennials' unique fingerprint on society. So why is the world increasingly uncertain? So with artificial intelligence, it's taking a lot of people's jobs, or it's creating such a rapid change in the environment that millennials don't really know how to think about their future because they don't know how much AI is going to, or other things are going to disrupt that future. There's job insecurity. The career landscape is shifty. Climate change and environmental crises. So we don't know what's happening with that. And political problems all over the world, like different countries are not getting along with other countries, tariffs, and people of different sides fighting with each other of both spectrums. So the social norms are changing, let's say, with technology, as we mentioned earlier, and that's hard to keep up with. And the global pandemic recently and health threats. So we don't know what to expect in a lot of areas of our life. And millennials are like, all right, then I want to learn about myself because I want to feel safe and nothing's really making me feel safe. I'm feeling kind of stressed because there's all these things happening. So what's something that I can learn that can help me give some foundation to my life? And so how can we persuade millennials? Relatability is the new credibility. So people that are younger care less about credentials and more about connection. And so relatability causes shareability in an attention economy. And so essentially it creates word of mouth. The more relatable your content is, the more someone will share it with their friend, that will share it with another friend, that'll share it with another friend. Just like the ISTJ song, it's so catchy, and then millennials send it to everyone, and then it has, the ISTJ song has, I think, is it over 200 million views? I could be wrong about that, but it's a lot of views these songs are having. And engagement comes from making people feel seen. So the more seen you make someone feel, the more they're going to engage with your content and send it with another person. And then there's pop culture. That makes it more fun for people to participate and to learn their type too, so that they can be a part of the culture, so they don't feel left out of the trends happening. And credentials can feel distant, and relatability builds trust. And millennials are all about that casualness. Millennials are all about collaboration, like being a part of the process. Being seen feels like you're a part of the process. Makes millennials more engaged and more likely to share. So the culture has gone from ISTJ to ENFP. And so the generation of boomers and Gen X, they tend to value hierarchy, professionalism, credentials more. There's more of a formal communication. They have to climb the ladder at work before, and there's trust built through being a professional. And being able to show all the things that you've done, like your experience essentially. Whereas for today's culture with millennials and Gen Z, it's more of an ENFP culture. So they prioritize connection and authenticity. They're more casual, humorous, relatable. They are more about sharing ideas with each other. So like there's this fun little meme, and like millennials will share memes with each other, just like how when an ENFP is amused, they'll like share it with everyone. Like, oh, this cool new idea. Look, I want to show everyone. So I've actually had ENFPs say that, oh my gosh, I never fit in with like the boomer generation, but I feel like I fit in with the younger people. I'm like, yeah, like they probably think like you. Like younger people are more likely to be social advocates. ENFPs with introverted feeling tend to be more social advocates as well, caring about the underdog. And also, I'm writing an ENFP book right now, and I actually told the ENFP author that our book was too formal, and I think that we should make it more casually written and easy to read. And she's like, that's how I naturally write. This generation is for me. And I just thought it was funny. So, yeah, ENFPs are in. When it comes to the younger generations, humor and entertainment are so important, and it's because they're coping mechanisms. So, a lot of millennials deal with financial insecurity. These are statistics I found online. So, 34% of millennials have no emergency savings. And a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck in the United States, I believe. Is it like 65% around that amount? Housing challenges. Many millennials live with their parents or roommates due to high living costs. So 51% of millennials report financial stress affecting their well-being. And so you can actually see that humor helps them cope with the stress of life. It helps them cope with the darkness, the suffering. And so while humor is appreciated across all human beings, I think specifically the younger generation have a special relationship with it because they feel like their lives are really difficult. And so they kind of use this to relieve themselves. Just like during the World War II, like people would make jokes a lot to try to ease the situation. It's like a similar kind of mentality where millennials are dealing with a lot of existential angst. And so then now they are making jokes to lighten themselves up. That's why they share so many things that are funny or entertaining, like K-pop stuff. Another way to get to millennials is freemiums. So this is the way to get the digital world. So a lot of people have so many options because of the digital world. And so they don't know what to pick. It's just like on Tinder or on dating apps. They don't know who to pick, who to date. It's like a huge struggle. And so when you have something that's free, then millennials are like, oh, I'll try that out. I'm not going to get overwhelmed by these options. I'm going to give this a chance. So the younger generation is about try before you buy. And so with the internet culture, it really promotes trying things risk-free before actually making a purchase. Millennials will buy things. They just need the initial thing to get them interested or hooked. So, due to the economic pressures that we mentioned, low commitment options are more appealing. And so, freemiums also help you get the attention of millennials because we live in an economy where everything's trying to get your attention. So, how are you going to be able to capture that attention? There's also loneliness. It's a pandemic in and of itself. And so, especially after the actual pandemic that has happened, loneliness is on the rise. You can see this because therapy services have really skyrocketed. And the Marvel movies, the superhero movies with Captain America and Iron Man, like now they're about therapy. Like the past few recent movies, like the theme is giving the person therapy and then the day is saved. So you can kind of tell that loneliness and therapy are in the zeitgeist, the cultural wave right now. And so humor and entertainment right now is also more desired because of the heaviness that people have right now. And there's a term that I've wanted to write a book on. It's psychological homelessness. So it's like people don't feel a sense of belonging. They don't feel like they are they have a community or a connections that they really I think someone's mic is unmuted. I'm actually wondering if maybe we could mute that mic there as well. It's kind of distracting me. So communities like fandoms or type groups ease loneliness. So that's why K-pop stars they're already popular, but they became even more popular over the pandemic. It's because people are lonely, and so they're seeking to be a part of like interest communities. And so they're seeking belonging. It's so important for them to find this home. And so they're looking for this relatability and shared experiences to combat isolation. It's like maybe if I meet people of my same personality type, I'll feel less alone. Or maybe if I find communities where I can talk about jungienne type, I'll find home. And so typology can build connection and offer belonging. Like let's say, for example, meeting once a week or bi-weekly in person might appeal to millennials because they have more of that community element as well. All right, so we're on to breakout discussions. Have you ever been a part of a community in person or online that made you feel really welcome and included? What made it special? How can we create that same feeling in personality type communities? What small changes could make it easier for people, especially younger generations, to feel like they belong in type spaces? So you don't have to answer all three questions. If anything, feel free to just answer the first question. Like, what's a community that really made you feel a part of it and included? And you can discuss it in groups of 3 or 4 people. And then we'll come back in 10 to 15 minutes. Had a lot of fun and warm feelings from recalling times in which you felt a part of a community or included. So, all right, I'll share my screen again. From current slide. So, with millennials, they're all about showing you care beyond professionalism. So there's this quote, people don't care what you know until they know you care. And so there's this desire for you to connect with them before showing your competence to them. And so it's always going to be connection over hierarchy for these generations. That human to human, you know me down to my soul. Well, not down to my soul. Sometimes people don't want to be known that deeply, but they want to feel connected. So humor and authenticity build trust. So if you're really funny, you're actually really good at seeming credible too, because you bring down people's walls. I think during the loneliness pandemic and during all of this uncertainty in people's lives, people have a lot of walls up, a lot of guardedness. So if you're able to be funny, you can instantly disarm people and all of these defensiveness they might have otherwise. So I find with millennials, if you want to convince them, speak their language. Don't just change surface branding. Like, let's say, for example, millennials aren't going to be captured because you have the most beautiful logo for your company. They're going to be captured because you talk like them. So that's the number one selling point for them. Do you talk like us? And so redefining expertise in the millennial era. And so with millennials, a lot of them are self-published, self-taught. Like, let's say, for example, with books, millennials write their own books whenever they want, and they can self-publish whenever they want. Whereas for the boomer or Gen X, you had to have connections or be an expert in a field to write a book. Anyone can write a book these days. And so the internet is really democratizing knowledge and breaking down hierarchy. And so millennials will search up things by themselves rather than going to experts. And that's a huge difference. They're like, I can just Google it, and they'll just Google it rather than seeing if there's someone who knows a lot about it out there. And so the term expert now is less exclusive, so it's less about credentials, and it's more participatory. So experts are more collaborative. They like ask their audience, what do you think? And they include others. And that's what's seen as an expert. Do you have a big following? That seems like an expert to millennials. Because what separates this person from all the other people talking about it is how many people also trust you. So this really changes how people approach how they will handle the Myers-Briggs. And so how I work with Gen Z and millennials, I use a lot of online platforms. So YouTube is my main one. And I just really record videos that seem to have caught a lot of traction over the pandemic. So I actually started my channel when COVID started. And because everyone was home watching YouTube, they were watching my videos. And so the COVID sucked for everyone, but there were some niche places that somewhat benefited, and it was YouTubers. Although, like, COVID was really bad. Like, I'm not saying that it was good in any way. And so I use Zoom or StreamYard to connect with my coaching clients. So you can see how a lot of work is done remotely now, especially after the pandemic. I help people on the discovery process of figuring out their personality type. So ultimately, the client is the person who's supposed to figure out their type. Like, it's ethical that the client themselves lands on their type for themselves. I help them with healing or navigating obstacles related to viewing it through the lens of typology. I also help people with knowing the difference between 16 personalities and Myers-Briggs and helping them understand the differences between certain types. And millennials are really into subtype models. So, like, let's say, for example, Dario Nardi has 4 brain subtypes that he talks about: dominant, harmonizing, normalizing, and the last one is escaping me for some reason, creative. So a lot of millennials, they like the very fine labels, so they are finding subtypes within the 16 types. So they're actually taking the 16 types and making 256 different types from that, for example. Like, millennials are really fine chopping this. So, since we are running a bit late or short on time, we can skip this. It's just I wanted to do a breakout room on how young people use Myers-Briggs, in your opinion. And so I find key challenges when it comes to dealing with millennials is that they might be mistyping due to stereotypes, like ESFPs love to party, and so if you don't like to party, you're not an ESFP or something like that. Over-identification with type. So sometimes a millennial will get a type on a survey online, and then the type is wrong, but they will already over-identify with that type, and then that's what happens. I find some challenges with teaching millennials MBTI is that there's some sort of language barrier. So there's a lot of jargon, like let's say FETETINI takes a long time for people to learn. And so that can be a barrier to millennials getting into type, the high barrier to entry. And the lack of trained guides. So there's like not a lot of millennials offering good guidance in type, so then it's easy for people to get the wrong information. So these are all things that we can help with. So this is probably the biggest problem with millennials and type is that everyone confuses 16 personalities with the Myers-Briggs. So 99% of the time when someone tells me, or if someone's like, I took the MBTI, they didn't actually take the MBTI, they took the 16 personalities, and they're calling it MBTI. Because the MBTI is the paid test by the Myers-Briggs company, whereas 16 personalities is not. It's free. That's why everyone is taking it, the freemium effect. And they have those cute little avatars too. So then they also have that competitive advantage because cute things catch millennial attention. And so the 16 personalities is actually a big 5 test. So it's actually showing you even the 5th dimension of neuroticism in the turbulent and assertive. So there is overlap between the big 5 and the Myers-Briggs. That's actually a fun fact. So when the big 5 was really small, the way that it gained credibility was that it said that, oh, look at how credible we are. We're very similar to the Myers-Briggs in certain dimensions. That was the beginning of the big 5, essentially. So that was like, and then now they're differentiating. Yes. So recommendations for practitioners: acknowledge that 16 personalities is what most people know about type, but clarify generally its limits and how to help people navigate the misconceptions there. You can help people with understanding the cognitive functions and type dynamics. You can use storytelling or cultural references to catch millennial attention. So like telling an interesting anecdote will get their attention. And model the ethical use of type. So here are some ways that you can get millennials to look at the thing. It's to tie it back to helping them more accurately understand your identity. It's like, hey, this can help you accurately understand who you are so that you don't spend so much time with the wrong resources online. So like appealing to that side, or creating quizzes, because millennials like things that they can share with their friends, with cute little characters, doing something that relates back to pop culture, trying to be relatable in general, creating edutainment, which is education plus entertainment for millennials. They really like that. So what is AFTP's opportunity to engage through pop culture? You can add cute visuals and avatars like the cute ones here. fun quizzes with ethical framing. So, like, let's say, for example, it looks like a quiz, but in the quiz, you say, quizzes are not accurate. If you want to figure out what your true type is, you can learn more with these sources. So it's like a bait and switch. You get people to take a quiz, but then you get them to learn the more ethical side through taking the quiz, let's say. I hope that makes sense and I'm saying it correctly. And so all these other things too, memes, reels, shorts, participate in trends and then educate. And so here are all of the other tips. So just engaging in pop culture and building community will get millennials. And I find that if you want a millennial to join, you might need them to join in groups because I'm a board member of the APTI, and the thing is we've had some millennials join, but if there's only one in a group chat and they notice that they're the only one, they'll feel scared. So like try to get like a group of millennials to join so that they see other people like them in the space, and so that they don't get as intimidated, is from experience what I've seen. What's one idea you're taking away? I know we don't have time for that. Does anyone have any questions? Do we have time for questions?
Yeah, we definitely have time, even for the previous question about what's one takeaway we have.
Yeah, cool. All right. Does anyone want to share? Mm.
Vous pouvez répondre dans le chat, hein, si on prend la parole, on a le temps.
I like that comment there. MBTI has become a generic term for personality indicator, like Kleenex for paper tissue. That's so accurate. Mm. Did any points spark any takeaways? Feel free to write it in the chat. So. All right, no worries. We can continue going on. Does anyone have any questions? Ooh, I see that there's comments.
Hi, it's Owen here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put my video. Yeah, it's great that you're able to encapsulate all the specificities of these generations, and very helpful that you set them aside from the others so we could see more clearly how they're different, and how we really need to communicate in a very specific way if we want to engage with them. And I've been thinking of clients of mine who are really struggling managing teams where they're younger people, and they just really do not respond the same way as the older people do to all kinds of things. So I think this will be good for them to know. So yeah, that's really useful research and practice and presentation. Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Mm.
Yeah, I tried to contrast the generations so you would see more of the differences there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so the knowledge here can also be applied to the workplace, as you talked about.
Yeah, I think some managers might benefit from some of your knowledge here. I mean, very directly in how they manage younger people.
Oh, thank you.
Mm.
That makes me feel included in a part of a community, so.
Yay!
Yeah, and feel free if anyone else has any
Yes,
comments.
Joyce, I have one question, which is that I see more and more articles in the press where with judgments on what they call the MBTI test. MBTI is not a test, it's an indicator. Or I see videos on YouTube saying this type is the most intelligent one, this type is this and that. I see so much disinformation, and I think it's scaring because at the end of the day, reality always strikes back. So my fear is that at the end of the day, all our work gets very bad press because of all those things.
Yeah. It's like I've thought about that too. My strategy for combating that is kind of idealistic in that I think if I just befriend Oprah or Taylor Swift and I just get them into the Myers-Briggs, I can like infiltrate the dialogue of the Jungian type out there. So I'll because I think infiltrating celebrities is probably the most effective way to change the dialogue on type. Like anytime type has gotten bad press, it's because of a celebrity or a celebrity inspires a documentary about something. So like the thing is, take down articles or like the combative documentaries get more views than nice ones. So people who make documentaries or write articles are told that they need to diss something, they need to insult something to get views. So then the problem comes when like a lot of people know about the Myers-Briggs, so they use that to get views. They need to insult something for views. And so I think the way that we can fix that is participating in pop culture and finding a way to like educate people. I actually think a way to do this is for the older generations to mentor the younger generations. So if there are some people like from the boomer or Gen Z generation who are there to help millennials and Gen Z understand type better and more ethically, it would be helpful. So like we need the ethical side that you guys know so well. So like we need wisdom.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah. So a way of doing that is actually like I interview people on my YouTube channel. So like if any of you guys want to be on to talk about your personality type, if I'm allowed to be asking, like yeah, you can educate the millennials by saying your thoughts on type and they'll learn something from you. So
Yeah, it's a great idea.
and I'll learn something from you as well too. And I can someone translate this comment over here?
You mean the one? Joyce, you said that MBTI is a way for the millennials to create links, rapport, but between persons who have the same type, or are they open to other types? What's your experience with that?
Oh yeah, they're also open to other types too. Usually people are most interested in their own type. Like the most common response you'll get is, I wanted to understand myself more, and then I learned about other people. I originally myself got into MBTI because I wanted to understand my dynamic with my ENFP best friend and myself. But then it became like an obsession. I think like a lot of people who have gone through adversity in their life or they're just intuitives love to psychoanalyze everything. And so like it's like great mind candy. Like we love to learn, we love to like pick apart the concepts around us. And so like intuitives just or just people in general like to talk about personality to they're like, wow, it's so interesting. It explains so much. Um, I think the most common reason probably people get into the Myers-Briggs is they felt misunderstood in their life. They didn't feel seen, and they felt like learning about the Myers-Briggs was the first time they felt seen. It's like, wow, this like this indicator knows more about me than most people know about me right away. So, yeah, so the answer to that is, yeah, millennials do want to know about both their own type and hang out with people of their own type and other types as well too. They just like if you can make it fun, they'll learn about anything. So if you can make like the paint drying fun, they'll learn about that too. So right, and I'm not sure if that was fully answering the question.
Well, I think that's the thing of the times, that everything has to be fun. You have edutainment, infotainment. I say someday we'll have a coachtainment, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's actually these short form videos on TikTok or on YouTube and other social media is modifying our brains. So like we actually our attention span is shorter than ever, and so fun is great for catching short attention spans. But yeah, I think also the thing is, because everything's all about fun, people, although millennials love self-reflecting, they're also struggling with self-reflecting as well, because they don't have enough attention to like spend it alone to think about themselves, that they're desperate to learn more about themselves. Because before the internet, you just had a lot of time to yourself, and you had to think about life by yourself because you weren't bombarded with the internet or with these short form videos. Now there's so much short form videos and your friends are messaging you all the time as a millennial. You both desperately crave self-reflection, yet you don't have enough time to actually self-reflect or like the alone time to do that. So that's why MBTI is so popular now, because people want to do that. We should invent some youngertainment process. Yeah. And there's another question here about memes. And I feel like it's so sad that I can't speak French because I'm Canadian and our second language is French. So this is like inspiring me to learn French.
So the next question in French is, don't you think it's too bad to share first with people having the same type? I work in a team where we all have different types, and we are complementary and we learn from one another. That's so interesting. So,
Yeah. There's so I think the Myers-Briggs talks about how you want a team to be as balanced as possible. So you actually want as much type diversity in a team as humanly possible. Yeah. I'm actually certified in things like the Clifton Strengths too. And they talk about how as an individual, you want to develop your strengths and what you're good at as much as humanly possible. You want to develop your weaknesses enough so that they do not undermine you. But after that, you want to put as much of your effort on your strengths as an individual. But for teams, you want as much diversity as possible in terms of personality. So I don't know, just fun facts.
okay. The next question is, I always thought that MBTI allowed us to know ourselves and understand others better. Are Gen Z and millennials so different? What if they could see the MBTI as a way to create less hostile relationships and to better understand differences? couldn't it reduce violence within the youth?
Yeah, they could definitely use Myers-Briggs for that. I believe Isabel Briggs-Myers, her original intention for the Myers-Briggs was world peace. It's to help us create clearer perceptions and sounder judgments. And so it would be great if millennials were to help create better relationships through this. Yeah. I think like a way of making type popular is also finding practical application for type and helping millennials see that as well too. So, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I really enjoyed being here. Um, so I made the end screen with a bunch of faces that millennials might enjoy. So to just give you an idea of the ethosphere here. Although it's a little bit more Japanese than what typical millennials would typically like. All
Does
right.
it mean we have to create a separate website with icons and fun videos? Does it mean we need to go on TikTok?
You could do TikTok, yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Like those listicles, like three things INFPs like to do before they go to bed. And that's probably like a really bad kind of like topic, but millennials really like that. Like how to tell if an INFP likes you as a friend. Two reasons. That would capture people on TikTok.
Okay. So maybe we can go around the virtual table and ask, I mean, what do you take from that presentation? What's the key concept you learned tonight and you want to apply starting tomorrow morning when it comes to working with millennials and Gen Z? Ouais. Donc, quel est le concept clé que vous retenez de ce soir et qu'est-ce que vous allez utiliser dès demain avec les jeunes générations, les millennials et les générations Z?
Well, it's not exactly about millennials and Gen Z, but I was really struck by what you said, Joyce, when you said they need to insult something to get views. You're in Toronto, I'm in Montreal, and we know that a few hundred kilometers below in the south, we see that every day. It was really striking for me. It gives it's really important because what I'm really scared is that this beautiful model at certain point of time gets very bad press because it was badly used. So thank you so much for that, Joyce. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I think the reputation of the Myers-Briggs is getting better. So a lot of people are talking about it again and very positively. Um, yeah.
D'autres réactions? D'autres questions?
Moi, je veux bien réagir. J'ai beaucoup apprécié et découvert beaucoup de choses ce soir. J'ai l'impression de tomber de l'arbre avec le regard des nouvelles générations. Je viens d'entendre que la réputation du MBTI se développait. Moi, je pense que c'est la notoriété du MBTI qui se développe. Quand j'entends de quelle manière c'est utilisé avec beaucoup de divertissement, de légèreté, là, je me dis oui, il y a vraiment une différence structurante avec ce qu'on a fait, ce qu'on a appris, où on était. Enfin, moi, en tout cas, quand j'ai découvert le MBTI, je suis rentrée par la théorie, par la profondeur, ça m'a touchée et c'est là que j'y trouve beaucoup d'intérêt et de qualité. Là, je suis sûrement, je sais pas, vieille qui critique ce qui est nouveau, ça doit être ça, mais euh, je suis un peu inquiète sur l'utilisation, euh, par exemple, sur cette question je me retrouve pas dans la norme sociale de la génération X, des boomers, ISTJ. je comprends que c'est le regard d'une jeune génération sur nous, mais moi, la norme sociale de notre génération, moi, je la sens pas ISTJ. Enfin, il y a beaucoup de choses que je trouve, que j'entends, que je comprends, mais que je trouve un peu rapide, un peu facile. Et pour moi, ça abîme un peu la profondeur, euh, la justesse de la théorie des types. Mais bon, après, si c'est comme ça aujourd'hui que c'est utilisé, ben voilà, je l'observe et j'ai rien à en dire.
Euh, je voudrais, à la suite de Véronique, alors je m'excuse, hein, déjà, je vous parle de mon téléphone, donc je sais pas si vous m'entendez.
Si, si.
Voilà. Donc moi, je vous appelle d'un continent où, on va dire, la pénétration du MBTI est beaucoup moindre. Donc, je vous appelle du Sénégal et je travaille beaucoup, sur tout le continent en Afrique, en tout cas en Afrique subsaharienne. Et c'est vrai que et tout à l'heure, j'ai mis un petit message en disant il est temps que je fasse des statistiques parce que voilà, dans mon territoire, je dirais que la norme des types, elle est plutôt INFP. Voilà. Donc ça, c'était la première chose. Mais c'est vrai que en tant que génération X, étant aujourd'hui avec des millénials aussi, et j'ai eu cette discussion avec Christine tout à l'heure, donc, c'est vrai que cette facilité qu'ils ont à aller chercher l'information rapidement et être sûr d'eux, dans une démarche où on utilise justement l'éthique qu'il faut pour les aider à se découvrir, ils comprennent pourquoi. Et donc, voilà. Mais maintenant, peut-être pour quelqu'un comme moi, c'est intéressant de, comme ils me disent, allez sur TikTok, faites des sessions sur TikTok et vous aurez des millions de vues. J'y suis pas encore. En tout cas, merci beaucoup, Joyce, hein. C'était très rafraîchissant.
Ok. Y a-t-il des dernières questions ou remarques, réactions?
Oui, euh, oui, d'abord, je voulais remercier Joyce. J'ai trouvé que cette présentation m'a fait une grande ouverture sur des choses que je ne percevais pas forcément à propos des jeunes. Et en même temps, je trouve qu'il peut y avoir un passage intéressant pour faire arriver, je dirais, cette génération à s'intéresser un peu au type de personnalité. C'est par l'intermédiaire d'un autre outil que j'utilise beaucoup en orientation professionnelle, qui est le Strong. Et je trouve que il y a des complémentarités. D'ailleurs, il me semble, c'est pas répandu du tout en France, mais il me semble que The Myers-Briggs Company euh, sort des rapports avec des combinaisons entre le profil MBTI et le profil Strong. Et pour ma part, j'ai fait pas mal de profils strong pour des jeunes et je trouve que il y a une idée derrière pour pouvoir continuer et avoir une approche pour les intéresser à mieux connaître leur personnalité par l'intermédiaire du MBTI.
Moi, comme je le disais dans mon sous-groupe, bon, jusqu'à maintenant, MBTI en collectif, c'est par les différences avec leur complémentarité. Moi, j'aime bien ce collectif par les appétences que cette nouvelle génération de se regrouper par type identique, parce que quand je le suis, c'est ce que je disais, moi, je trouve ça fluide, c'est facile, ça fait du bien, ça repose. Donc, pourquoi pas cette troisième voie? Je dis pas que c'est une voie unique, mais en tout cas, une troisième voie qui est pas mal, moi que j'aime bien.
Ok. Moi, je voulais remercier Joyce pour ce qu'elle a partagé avec nous. Il se trouve que j'anime régulièrement des ateliers de découverte du type avec des étudiants dans des grandes écoles, donc c'est typiquement la génération Z. Et c'est vrai que les ateliers de découverte du type que j'anime bon, il y a la partie théorique qui est un petit peu descendante, hein, avec des slides PowerPoint. Et là, tout ce qu'elle nous a dit, tout ce que tu nous as dit ce soir, Joyce, ça me donne des idées sur une autre manière d'introduire le type auprès de ces générations-là. D'ailleurs, il y en a beaucoup, quand je leur dis dès le début, MBTI, ça vous parle, vous avez déjà entendu ça? Et il y en a beaucoup qui disent, ah bah oui, moi j'ai passé le 16 Personalities. Donc pour eux, c'est la même chose. Donc c'est là enfin, ça permet de faire un point d'entrée. Et peut-être que partir du 16 Personalities et puis d'en sortir pour amener un peu plus de rigueur, mais sur un mode ludique vers les préférences du MBTI, ça peut être un mode, une manière peut-être de les intéresser et de les embarquer davantage, effectivement.
Alors, si je peux me permettre de rebondir sur ce que vous venez de dire, j'ai mis un petit message à Joyce en lui disant que ça me confortait dans ma manière d'animer justement moi aussi des ateliers de découverte du type avec cette génération, toujours avec une pédagogie très participative, interactive, ludique et surtout sans jugement. Et c'est vrai que du coup, moi, j'ai inversé les choses. Je finis par la théorie. C'est-à-dire que je leur fais faire les exercices vraiment au départ, voilà, sans vraiment qu'ils puissent savoir ce que ça signifie. Et du coup, ils jouent vraiment le jeu et j'apporte les parties théoriques en complément des exercices. Et j'ai trouvé que de ce fait, ils adhèrent vraiment, vraiment, vraiment à ça. Et ce que je trouvais intéressant sur ce que la personne a dit précédemment, sur le fait qu'ils puissent aussi être par type à un moment ou à un autre, ce que je crois que c'était Philippe Collin qui disait ça, d'arriver à un moment à ce qu'ils soient aussi entre eux sur des éléments de même type et que c'était reposant. Je crois que c'est aussi important, peut-être qu'il faudrait ajouter aussi cette dimension-là, de dire on leur fait vraiment découvrir ça de manière très, très ludique, on leur apporte les éléments effectivement de théorie, parce que c'est pas ce qui les intéresse le plus, on est quand même bien d'accord, hein, c'est beaucoup plus le côté actif et expérience qui leur plaît, et puis arriver à trouver, et ça je vais y réfléchir aussi, quelles seraient les activités qu'on pourrait leur faire faire en complément par les types identifiés pour arriver à mieux comprendre encore les différences. Mais vraiment, je trouve important, et Joyce, ça nous a bien éclairé là-dessus, c'est peut-être qu'eux, ils cherchent à se rassurer sur le fait que d'autres personnes comme eux existent, mais je reste persuadée que mon rôle à moi est quand même de les aider à mieux comprendre la différence aussi des autres pour arriver, comme elle disait tout à l'heure, Joyce, à la paix dans le monde, peut-être pas, mais je crois que le MBTI est un outil formidable pour une communication qui permet d'éviter les conflits et qui permet d'apporter de la tolérance. Et c'est dans ce sens que je pense que ce que Joyce a dit aujourd'hui peut nous éclairer aussi sur une manière d'aborder les choses, sachant qu'on a quand même, enfin, je ne sais pas vous, mais moi j'ai rarement des groupes d'une seule génération. J'ai des groupes, j'ai un travail en entreprise multi-génération. Donc, trouver une manière d'animer nos ateliers de telle sorte que ça parle à toutes les générations, ça, c'est un vrai challenge. Et je reste persuadée que le côté participatif, interactif et ludique plaît, mine de rien, même aux boomers et à la génération X, dont je fais évidemment partie. Voilà, je voulais apporter cette petite remarque en conclusion. Un grand merci Joyce et à tout le monde pour ces partages.
Je me permets de rebondir sur ce que tu viens de dire, Catherine. Effectivement, je souscris. Je voulais dire aussi, alors je ne sais pas dans les autres pays, mais c'est vrai qu'en France, il y a beaucoup d'articles sur les incompréhensions, justement, et la gestion des équipes multigénérationnelles. Ça, c'est une vraie question, en tout cas, qui est très présente en France. Et pour le coup, je te rejoins, je pense, sur l'intérêt et je me réjouis de ce que Joyce a dit, de l'intérêt des jeunes générations sur ces outils-là et que c'est peut-être un moyen aussi, si on arrive et on continue, nous, à en être les ambassadeurs, justement à aider justement à ce que les générations aussi se comprennent mieux. Voilà, parce que on a toujours à apprendre des autres et voilà, voilà, on voit beaucoup de papiers de presse sur notamment le management des jeunes générations et je pense que et les managers et les jeunes, si on travaille tous ensemble sur ces outils-là, il y a vraiment matière à progresser et à faire des choses chouettes ensemble. Mais en tout cas, merci Joyce de nous avoir éclairé là-dessus, parce que moi aussi, hein, Génération X, j'avoue que voilà, j'ai découvert des choses ce soir, mais c'était très chouette. Merci.
Ok, alors s'il n'y a pas d'autres questions, d'autres réactions, je propose que pour remercier Joyce, on lui mette plein d'icônes sympathiques dans le chat pour lui dire comment on se sent à la fin de cette présentation, voilà, en mode emoji pour partager notre ressenti sur ce qui vient de se passer et sur tout ce qu'on a appris ce soir, si ça vous convient. Oui, alors.
Oh, I love the emojis. Oh. Look, see, you guys are already millennials. Thank you so much for having me.